Yeah. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
This is how we do this, by the way.
That's fine.
This is how we start.
We just start it and go.
Yeah.
Because it's just funny.
I get nervous before stuff like this, so
That's why
I mentioned ask me questions, because if you don't, I'll ramble on about shit.
I know.
I had
Case
some
in
guy.
point.
I had some guy interview me about speeding cars on Werner, and he was like trying to make a point that like the road needs to be a two-way, and he wanted me to like talk about issues and relate to how it has to be being a two-way, but I kept talking about like how the snow wasn't cleared off the sidewalks, and how there was like a homeless guy in a wheelchair, and then like how people drag race, and he's like, we don't care about that, we want to talk about why making it a two-way is good. And I'm like, you gotta keep me in line, dude, because I'm nervous and I'm gonna fucking ramble.
Keep him on track
so
all the time.
This is
it's a talent. It's a talent.
This is the brains of the operation.
Yeah.
Dude.
And it's not. Yeah, and it's not that I can't stay focused. It's that when I'm in this position, I fuck up. I don't tell people what they want to hear.
Right.
You know.
Well, the good news is that
we got her.
Yes,
we have her.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You don't have to worry about looking at the camera. We just sit here and bullshit all
the
time.
Yeah.
Mainly.
When you sit like that, then I'm like blocked. I'm pretty sure. So.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, no, and when we were heading over here, I was like, I need to tell Devin. He has no reason to be nervous about this because
I know, but I am.
Nobody,
because there's like little doodads and shit everywhere.
You know? I get it.
And I know there's something you guys are trying to capture for your podcast.
Not really.
Not really.
Well, well, a little bit, right? I'm not gonna talk about. I'm not gonna tell you about like what I saw on like the Great British Bake Off, right? You know what I mean?
I know.
That's what I'm talking about.
We'll get there.
You know.
But yeah, like you have no, this is what I want to tell you. Aside from me being on some like stupid video that Jeff shoots at the tailgates,
right?
Yeah.
You're our actual first person to ever come on here.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought about that earlier. I was like, wow, Devin's gonna be the first person. So this is Devin.
Yeah.
We worked together at Chrysler.
Mm-hmm.
It was FCA, now it's Stellantis and whatever. Now owned by some foreign company.
Well, he worked there. I will not disclose where I worked.
That's right. But yeah.
Now, as much as Joe loves Cincinnati, he talks about Detroit all the time.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
I wanted to see what is so important about Detroit that has almost a magic to it the way that Cincinnati does and has cold.
Oh.
She's never been here.
Yeah.
So we haven't driven through the rough areas. She saw the Packard plant.
Yeah.
She was like, "Wow, okay." I was like, "Yeah."
And that's not even as amusing as it used to be.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's been taken down, and then even some of the like the Passover, it's not a pedestrian bridge, it's like the assembly line bridge. It used to go over Grand Boulevard. Okay. It collapsed 2 years ago. During we had a lot of snow and ice, and it was like a thaw and then a freeze, and it just whatever was left there, dude. I actually got a picture of it when it buckled just before it came down, and then it just it was it's less. It used to be like whoa, this thing, and now it's kind of like there's like but But I don't know. There's a couple things. Well, even like the train station is like fixed and amazing, and they haven't opened it back yet. But you can look inside, and it looks.
I think they were talking about that last night during the game.
Yeah, well, they kept showing it. They kept showing it. It looks awesome.
Yeah, they have glass there now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all new windows. Bill Ford, like he's trying to make a legacy, right? He's getting older, and he's kind of like so now he's like throwing all this money at the city, and so now when he dies, he'll have these landmarks that he contributed to. So, but anyway. Yeah,
that's big for Cincinnati because I feel like people should do that. Like we've met in Cincinnati. And drink at that bar. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was cool. There was a couple. There's another one that we tried to stop at too. But there's a lot of awesome little places there that we just saw like just spilling out right off the interstate, and we're like, you know,
and culturally, I feel like Detroit has its own like culture, right? Like,
I feel like every city kind of has its own culture.
Well, Nashville lost its, so you know it. When you lose it, it's weird.
Well, Nashville. I think I have some opinions about Nashville.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. I don't. I'm sure my expectations were a lot lower for Nashville. I think you were more, I feel like, emotionally connected to what the city was. Yep. You know, I really wasn't, but. I could see. I feel like I can kind of understand, but I mean, a lot of cities go through that transition, right? And Detroit's not going to go through what Nashville did, but it's gonna be similar. You know what I mean? And
this is better up here.
Well, we're a little bit more low key. Detroit's more low key, I think.
Right.
Nashville's like the thing is country, and the country image is like really hot right now, so it's attracting lots of people that like it's not an actual lifestyle for them. It's just like an accessory. Look at my boots.
Right.
Like it's just an accessory. Right. It's like a guy on a Harley.
Yeah.
Big tough guy on a Sunday when the sun is shining and the weather is between 65 and 80 degrees.
Right.
If it's too hot, you're not going to ride your bike.
Right.
If it's too cold, you're not going to ride your bike. But they're like, I'm a tough guy. No,
right.
It's not. You know what I mean? It's just an image. Yep. That's just, and it dilutes the actual,
right.
Well, the culture of the place, but that's kind of part of life, man. Like every town goes through these different,
phases.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And Detroit's is going through one right now. I mean, look at me, like I'm a white guy that moved here. You know what I mean? And
we
there's a lot behind that.
Not to disclosing exactly where we're at, but this house is gorgeous.
Yeah.
This bar you built yourself.
Yeah.
It has a very
except for that cabinet, I found that in the coal room. But
coal room.
It's very eclectic.
Yeah, it's very Prohibition Day.
Yeah. I tried to make it match the year the house was built. That was the goal. It was just like the house built in 1921. I'll just make it match that. If the house was built in like 1860, this would be like a tavern. And you'd have like a whiskey barrel with a tap on it. It'd be sweet. I'd have fun with whatever I was given. I just
right. Yep.
But
beautiful bar though. Beautiful house. Yeah. This house is gorgeous.
Yeah, thanks.
Every time I'm in here, I'm always amazed.
I like it. But it requires babysitting.
Yeah.
It depends on the type of person you are. It can be a burden for someone that doesn't want to babysit a house, so that's completely understandable. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's just
it
comes with some things. Yeah. I mean, it's not like falling apart or like
No.
It's not killing anybody, but it is some work.
It has character to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. This house is it's like a rarity. It's sometimes in like some areas of this town.
Yeah.
Some of these places are.
I think this house is. I don't know. I guess it depends how you look at it. So, there's a lot of old houses in this city, especially in this neighborhood. And it's not. There's like a couple neighborhoods or like pockets throughout the city, and they have like just lots of old homes.
Yeah.
And this one, funny thing, this is actually one of the newer houses on the street. This one's 1921. One next door was 1922, and one behind us was like 1922, 23.
Wow.
These lots were empty. And originally, this was all, well, not originally, but it was, all this land was sold off in like 1880s by a lady named Mary Field. She inherited the farm from her husband when he passed away, and she sold off all the land and built her house it was like two or three houses down.
You've been to her gravesite, right?
No, not Mary Field, but her house is over here. Well, the old house, the family house. But the lady that built this house, yes, I've been to her grave.
That one. Okay.
I've been to her and Herman's grave. Yeah. So, but anyway, all this whole neighborhood was built up in like the 1890s, kind of. So a lot of the houses are like 30 years older than mine.
Right.
So, and this was just like, I don't know, I think it was like a dumping. Like everyone used to throw their trash and shit here because it was just like empty.
Yeah.
Because I keep digging up all kinds of cool shit in the backyard.
Yeah.
Horse hooves and like
cool.
beer bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like whole beer bottles. It's pretty cool.
Dang.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And they're super old. Like
Yeah.
But
like next door's a school. Is it still?
No, it's not a school.
So
So
a school building.
it's
Isn't
it's a well. You're not too far from the truth. It was publicly funded,
okay.
but it was I'm pretty sure it was like some kind of nonprofit or something that built it, or they built it. That building was built in 1967. For like, I don't know what it was originally built for. I can tell you what it is now, or who owns it now. Is it's like for like I think like juvenile women. They just get out of prison and they're really young, or they just get out of jail or whatever, and it's like they help them get back on their feet and stuff.
Kind of like a halfway house.
That's exactly what this was. I bought this from not the same company, but a separate company.
Yeah.
They own this house and the one across the street, and people might be able to figure that out, but that's fine because this house was in the Detroit News a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, people probably know anyway. But anyway, and it's like on Airbnb. But anyway, the house across the street was where the offices were for the nonprofit, and then this was where they actually kept like the women.
Okay.
So, but I mean, everyone that lived in this house took like ridiculously good care of it.
Yeah.
Like everybody, it's nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you think that like women going through issues like that, but no, like nothing. Everything is like. Like every doorknob is good, and it's just I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah, no, the